humans, I'm Yoshiller, and welcome back to another one of my daily Animal Crossing New Horizons gameplay videos. Folks, if you've stuck around for this long or are just tuning in, thank you so much. I know for those of you that have been watching the past couple of videos, it might seem monotonous to keep watching. You might be thinking, man, Yoshiller, this is so boring. This game is so boring. How are you still going? And that is the main topic upon which I wanted to touch. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of just dump my thoughts regarding this subject in just a moment, but first I must get to Isabelle's opening speech. Hello there, everyone. Right now on Aquanet, it's 4:31 p.m. on Monday, February 2nd, 2026. You know, I heard Flick is taking time off here on Aquanet. He loves our bug so much. If you have any to share with him, I know it'd make his time here extra special. Yes, well, maybe I'll finally give him some of those wasps I've been catching and have been storing, but that's neither here nor there. Thank you, Isabelle. Yeah, I reckon this video will be very similar to some of the Animal Crossing New Horizons gameplay videos that I was posting back during version 1.0 when I was just trying to go for achievements, because that's basically what I'm going to be doing now, but first I have to check my inbox. So yesterday, I ordered a bunch of cardboard boxes so that I could craft any future items for DIY recipes that require cardboard boxes. I also got a letter from Pietro. Dear Superfan, I just wanted to say that I'm so happy I met you. I couldn't have said it in person without getting all flustered and weird. And now I'm sure all of our future interactions will be 100% normal. Straightforwardly, Pietro. Well, Pietro, that is a very thoughtful and heartfelt message, and I appreciate it, and I know that the confrontation of saying something so genuine can sometimes be inappropriate. Well, I threw the letter away. And I hope you don't take it personally. I am merely throwing your letter away for storage purposes. But I have your letter documented in video form, so I can always look back on it forever. Although, there might not be much of a reason to come back to this specific video. Day 465 of my daily Animal Crossing New Horizons gameplay videos. I don't think anyone's ever gonna look back on this video and say, wow, day 465, remember that video, Yoshiller? Remember that video where all you did was bonk a bunch of rocks and bonk a bunch of trees and gather a bunch of supplies and craft a bunch of stuff so you could fulfill a freaking Nook Miles achievement? Do you remember that? Because that's basically gonna be what I'm gonna do in this video, and that's gonna be the case for the next couple of Animal Crossing New Horizons videos as well. I'm gonna wrap up the series probably in about 10 or so days, and I totally acknowledge that this video and the next couple of videos might be very mundane, might be very boring. Maybe it makes for good background noise, and I hope that's the case, but otherwise, hey, look, I totally get if this is not your cup of tea, and frankly, this is not exactly what I would call the peak of gameplay either, not even for Animal Crossing. Also, before I forget, I would like to try and find Minoru, because I need to give her a gift. Maybe today will be more eventful because I'll give Minoru a gift, and in exchange, I'll receive her photo. And that will count as extra progress beyond just crafting a bunch of stuff for the sake of a DIY recipe. So that would make today more eventful. But again, it draws parallels to the last few videos I made of this series back during the version 1.0 iteration. Back during days like, what would that have been? Like day 340 to day 365? Those final few days were a bit dull. Minoru, I feel like you're always crafting. I appreciate that. Construct, what is it? You're watching me so intensely, it's a bit unnerving. I feel like I've never seen you with your bookshelf in here. You always have the crafting table in here, but okay, what are you crafting? Well, you see, I'm working on a classic picture. It's a DIY crafting project, my dear. I was daydreaming, you see, and the design came to me. Then, just like that, I made it happen. I also see you've gotten into Beautiful Joe because you were wearing the Beautiful Joe hoodie that resides at my island's clothing shop, or sorry, at our island's clothing shop. I didn't even make that design, What a Geek made it, but I'm glad you're wearing it. Minoru being a Beautiful Joe fan. I can see it. You might just like the design, and that's fair enough. Well, I'll take this DIY recipe. I don't quite need it anymore. Mark my words, Construct, if this recipe catches on, everyone who's anyone is gonna want a classic picture. Well, I'm glad you're always doing something, keeping busy. I respect that. I'll talk about that in a bit as well. Here's my gift to you. I wrapped it up. I was supposed to give this to you yesterday, but you were watching KK, and it just wanted, or sorry, 2 days ago, whatever. You were watching KK, and I never got a chance to give it to you. That's right, a frog umbrella. There must be some kind of mistake. Is this really for me? Well, that'll come in handy. And it's such a cute design. Now I can't wait for it to rain. Well, I can't let you go away empty-handed. Now here, take a layered polo shirt. No! Another layered polo shirt! You already gave me one of these. I just put it away in storage. Whatever. Not the Minoru costume. I could look like you if I wanted to. We'll put this on. Is that much different than the Explorer shirt I was just wearing? Guess the Explorer shirt has more buttons. All right. Well, thank you, Minoru. At least it's my color, so I can see myself wearing it for the remainder of this video. In fact, You're gonna have to see myself wearing it for the rest of this video. That's the only way it's gonna really mark any sort of a difference. Minoru gave me this attire, so I'm now going to wear it, and now I'm gonna go about doing my daily chores for the video. The rock bonking, the tree the bonking of everything. Getting supplies, so I can more easily streamline the process of myself crafting a bunch of stuff for that DIY recipe, because that is the main objective that I have. I would like to get Minoru's photo, and then I would like to get the Nook Miles achievement for crafting enough stuff for Captain. And then I would like to get the Nook Miles achievement for designing enough rooms. I don't know if I'll be able to get the Nook Miles achievement for inviting enough guests to a VIP room. It seems like not enough people want to go to a VIP room. And I don't want to spend the next several videos just designing more rooms. I mean, I did 9 of those already. 10 of those even. I did more than the game would normally allow me to do. I just like redesigned one of my previous rooms. I did enough of those, and I'll do one more of those because I already kind of demolished one of my rooms for the sake of trying to get this Nook Miles achievement. Also, speaking of Nook Miles achievements, I got a daily Nook Miles achievement for bonking rocks, so go ahead and square that away real quickly. But yes, on to the topic of just kind of doing my chores. That's what I'm doing in Animal Crossing today, all right? I am doing chores, I'm gathering supplies, and I acknowledge that there are daily things that every player is supposed to do in Animal Crossing, and no one else, as far as I know, has been committed enough to play Animal Crossing New Horizons for the sake of content for an entire year straight. I know a lot of people streamed it for multiple hours on end when it first came out, because that was the game, right? It was 2020, we were all locked down due to the pandemic. That's how the success of this game really took off and really blew up, right? And that's also the same reason why it didn't become more. And I know that people got really burnt out on the game when it first came out. Or not when it first came out, but like a few months after it came out, right? Totally get it, all right? And that's why I tried to find objectives that I could do and found solace knowing that there were things I could strive toward. And I find that I do best when I am working toward a goal, right? I could just run around and talk to all my villagers and whatever, and that would be really boring. At least if I know that I'm working toward this goal, well, then I can have some sort of excitement once I actually reach the goal, right? Once I actually craft all the stuff for the Nook Miles achievement, once I actually build all the rooms or get Minoru's photo or whatever, that's something I can work toward. So there's daily stuff that I've been doing in these Animal Crossing New Horizons videos anyway. But now that I brought this series back again, now I have a goal that I'm trying to reach. And I had something similar when I did the version 2.0 iteration of the series, right? I was trying to fulfill all the other Nook Miles achievements that I wasn't able to fulfill during the first run of the series. Yeah, so, I mean, okay. Oh, giant clam, heck yeah, I'll take that. I definitely need more of those. Those are rare for some reason. All right, I'm gonna drop off, I'm gonna get that snowflake first. And then I'm gonna drop off my items. And then I'm gonna go ahead, oh my god, maybe I'm not getting a snow, okay, whatever. I'm gonna drop off my items, I'm gonna go on a Nook Miles Island tour, and then I'm gonna go ahead and just gather a bunch of supplies, and I'll continue this conversation momentarily. So, let's see what we got here. The giant clam, put in storage. All this stuff, put in storage. The shirt, I liked it, I wore it yesterday, put that in storage. The clay, put that in storage. The iron nuggets, put that in storage. And these stones, put that in storage. Great. I've got plenty of inventory to pick up all sorts of other stuff so I can craft future items. So folks, I don't know if there is anybody that has been this committed to Animal Crossing. I have no doubt that there are people that have larger total playtimes than me, and that there are actual Animal Crossing centric content creators. But I don't know anyone that's like done this type of endeavor where you played the game every single day for over a year, right? But maybe there are. And I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I just don't know if there are. And I wanted to kind of relate that to some other things people might do every day. So, I mean, I know that there are people that might play Pokemon every day and like do competitive Pokemon or like Smash Brothers or something. There are definitely themed content creators that do the same thing every single day. And, you know, oh my goodness, I'm already breaking my tools. Well, I guess it was bound to happen. All right, let me go ahead and buy a flimsy axe so I can then swiftly upgrade it to a stone axe so that I may continue my tree bonking. Although if I go on a Nook Miles Island tour, I'm probably going to primarily use the sharp axe, but I would still like to get a stone axe right now before I forget to get one for the future. And this way I can bonk trees on my island in a more streamlined manner. Now, I know that there are people that play these games every single day, and there's the variety in the multiplayer component, or these games are constantly getting updated. Like, if you're playing a game to compete, those games might have tournaments that kind of compels you to play it more actively. I get it. I'm playing Animal Crossing for the sake of content, and I'm doing this just because this is what I did 6 years ago, right? I do know, hang on. Well, I do know there's a piano here. So if you're interested in a grand piano, 260,000 bells. Okay, I'll tell you what. I could see Minoru putting this in her home. She seems like the type of person that would be interested in learning an instrument. And if there was an instrument that she would learn, I would put her as a piano gal, a violin gal, or some sort of woodwind instrument. I think those would be the main ones. All right, great. So now I'm gonna go back and buy the grand piano, and then I'll go ahead and buy some gift wrap, and then I'll wrap a piano somehow. Doesn't matter. It's the same game where I can fit a piano in my pockets. What does it matter? And then I'll give that to Minoru tomorrow, and that way her gift is basically pre-ordered. And what I might have to start doing is I might have to start going into my own inventory and finding a bunch of items that have just been sitting there for a while, wrap those up, and give them to her, just until I get her photo. Okay? She's got about 10 days to give me her photo. So I'm hoping that will happen before I conclude this series for the third time. All right, but let me go ahead and wrap up her soon-to-be piano. I mean, I guess it is a piano now. Her soon-to-be gifted piano. There we are. Very good. Okay, now that I've bonked my coconut trees, I know I have the coconut trees in the top right corner of my island, but I will go ahead and skip on those for the time being. We're just gonna go... Well, I need a stone axe, and I think I'll go ahead and use this crafting table right here. Don't use this one that often these days. All right, so here we are, stone axe. With the 3 pieces of wood I just got, already exhausting my supplies, it's gonna be worth it. It'll be fine. All right, now that that's all settled, let's go on the Nook Miles Island tour. Let's go to Nook Miles Island. Let's get some more supplies, and let's utilize those supplies to craft a bunch of stuff so I can get the Nook Miles achievement and pursue the only remaining objective that I have that I can try to accomplish within a reasonable amount of time before the series comes to a close. All right, so I wanna fly. I wanna fly. All right, and I wanna use that Nook Miles ticket. I got plenty of them, and if I gotta go through like 6 of them today, so be it. I'm just gonna keep using them until that option doesn't show up in your text box anymore, Orville, at which point I will go ahead and buy 1 or 2 more, but hopefully we will reach that point, and hopefully I'll complete all the Nook Miles achievements related to crafting, and I won't need to go on these Nook Miles Island tours anymore, at least not as frequently, and I won't need to buy Nook Miles tickets as a result. All right, that is the hope. What happens once this objective, this achievement is reached, is achieved, is objectified? Then my Animal Crossing series is done, I guess. I've done everything that I'd want to do. I could end the series tomorrow if I wanted to. And let's see here. So one of these trees is gonna have wasps in it, yeah? That had a tree branch in it, but I ain't putting my guard down just yet. Is it this one? This has a suspicious amount of tree branches sitting in front of it. No, but it has pop-up toaster. I could always give that to Minoru. I'm still suspicious. One of these trees has to have wasps in it. I knew it! I knew it! Give me that! Dude, that spawned right on top of me. If I didn't already have the net out, were they just dead from the get-go? Insanity. All right, anyway, now that I got the wasps off of this island, I'm just gonna go ahead and, well, I'll get the snow. No! Thank you. Get the snowflake as well, because it occasionally still requires me to craft snow and isolated items. Is this a giant clam? All right, then I don't want it. All right, let's be on the lookout for giant clams real quickly. All right, I'm looking. Oh boy. But yeah, after having done over 460 hour-long Animal Crossing videos, it becomes difficult to constantly find new topics to discuss, and a giant clam, great, I'll gladly take it, thank you. It's kind of, the multiplayer videos certainly help, because then I can just have my guests talk about stuff, and we can talk about what's on their islands, and talk about my island for the 400th time, right? But, actually, I was supposed to use a sharp axe. I wasn't supposed to use the regular stone, whatever. Go up here and bonk some rocks. I don't want to have to pick up the weed clumps, but I might start doing that if it's in the way of other stuff. Okay, let's bonk some rocks, so I gotta dig a hole here, boom, thank you. Dig a hole here, boom, thank you. All right, let's see what we get. Iron nugget, awesome! Iron nugget, awesome! Clay, awesome! Stone, awesome! Iron nugget, awesome! Gold nugget! Of course I start getting all the gold nuggets when I just don't need them anymore. But I have them. Maybe this is a sign of things to come. Maybe I'll actually get the gold shovel before the series comes to a close. Or maybe it's a sign that I should start crafting more gold tools because I keep breaking all my other ones. I have enough gold nuggets to do it. I'm glad I'm getting them all now. I went through such a dry spell without getting a gold nugget, and now I'm getting them like every part now. I'm not complaining. I feel bad for taking all the gold nuggets from my friends now, but I'm not complaining. And I mean, hey, they gave it to me. They wanted me to have them. Anyway, so it's become difficult to find topics to discuss, and I have other stories I can share, and I have, like, my life is still going on, right? I could just say what's going on in my day today. And I think what I wanted to discuss today is kind of that idea. People that do record and discuss their day to day. Because there are streamers and content creators and video editors and whatever that actually document every day of their lives. There are even some people that stream 24/7. And I gotta imagine that is very difficult and very boring at times. Both for the creator and for the viewer. Part of the reason I make vlogs for my channel, I'm not a vlogger, but part of the reason I even made vlogs for my channel was to document the highlights of, oh my god, okay, all right, I'll go get an axe while I'm at it. Golly, if only I used the sharp axe on the coconut tree while I was down there. So that way I would have sooner exhausted my axe, and I would have sooner been able to have gotten another one. So I gotta go buy a flimsy axe from the character down here, and then I gotta craft it into a regular axe. Not a stone axe, but just a full-on axe. Alright. Alright. I guess I'll bonk this one real quick. Coconut trees get stone bonks. All the other ones get sharp, metallic, deadly bonks. Alright. Boom. 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 Awesome. Alright, at least I'm getting extra wood pieces. I just have to remember that I bonked this one already. How much you want to bet I'm gonna forget already? I'll get this one too. Alright, I mean, technically, I don't have to chop down the trees. I was mainly chopping down the trees so I could keep track of which trees were and weren't bonked, but there was already a couple of things beside them that's I'm probably fine. I do want to get this rock real quickly, though. Gotta make sure I get the stones and the iron nuggets while I have the opportunity. Alright, there we go. Alright, let's pick that up. Alright, I've already picked up a couple of wheat clumps, so if I have to use a shovel on one or two of these, then so be it. I don't want to take a bunch of stuff I don't need, you know? I'll take the snowflake, but I don't want to have to take the roses and stuff too, you know what I mean? I would like to... how did I know that was going to happen? How did I... oh my god. Okay, alright. Alright. Let's go ahead and bonk the rock, but let's do so at a location where I don't have to scoop up the roses with my shovel. Okay? I don't want to scoop up the roses. Can I do it this way? Okay, cool. That works out for me. Nope. Sorry, too far up. Which means I'd have to scoop up the roses by going to the... okay, can I do it on this end then? There we go. Just gotta make sure I stay still. Perfect. There we go. All right, don't worry, folks. This rock is getting bonked. It's going to happen. And then I have to remember to buy an axe and a net. All right. I can do that. And I could make golden variations of those tools if I so desired. But I don't so desire, so I shall not do so. All right, I'm climbing back down. I gotta get the tools regardless. And I may as well buy them while I'm on these Nook Miles Islands, so that way I can just spend Nook Miles on them. I've got nothing else to spend Nook Miles on. All right, I think I've got everything from this island that I would want to get. All right, stovetop toothbrush. Is that what you called yourself? Who uses a toothbrush on a stove? Whatever, I guess that's the joke. I'm looking too into it. All right, so I'll take that. Which one did I just buy? The net? Okay. So I need whatever one's not furthest to the left. Stovetop mixing bowl? You went from toothbrush to mixing bowl? There we go. Net and axe, it's like they knew those would be the first two things I'd break. I guess, technically, that's probably true. The fishing rod probably would be the slowest to break, because catching a fish is such a longer process than anything else. Alright, and then let me upgrade those to extra tools, assuming that I got everything I need here on this Nook Miles Island. I do, so we would want a sharp axe. I only got 6 pieces of regular wood, and I'm already going to utilize them to make an extra axe, but I have to do it. I have to do it. Anyway, I haven't forgotten about the topic I was mentioning previously. It's just doing other stuff now. Hang on, I was making a net. There we go. Using my iron nuggets to do so. Anyway, there are people that stream and document like everything in their lives, and I don't know how people can do that. And there are some people that tried live streaming every moment of their lives, almost like Truman Show. Except Truman Show, the premise of that movie is that like one person's entire life is scripted. But I'm going from the opposite angle of like you're a viewer watching someone else's life on the active. Like people stream themselves sleeping, and from a standpoint, I kind of get it. Like, well, if I'm going to be sleeping, I may as well make some extra money while I'm sleeping. And I mean, yeah, I guess. But one, by doing that, you forfeit a lot of your privacy. And I guess some people are okay with that. You already acknowledged, like, well, I'm documenting everything in my life anyway. What does it matter if I sleep? But two, how do you have enough substance to stream and document your life every single day? I vlogged certain parts of my life because I wanted to vlog the highlights. I wanted to vlog noteworthy moments in my life. Me going to an event, me getting invited to something, me seeing friends, me experiencing an opportunity that isn't otherwise common. Something that makes me go further in my career. Doggone it, I got Bamboo Island. This isn't super useful to me because I don't need more bamboo. Don't get me wrong, there are plenty of DIY recipes that do require bamboo. So I might bonk one or two of these little bamboo trees. Oh, I didn't even change direction on my analog stick. Why did my character bury a hole south of him? Whatever. All right. Well, I can even optimize the items I was gonna get from this item, even if I wanted to. Yeah, I'll bonk like one or two of these bamboo trees, and then otherwise I'm mainly just here for the rocks, and I guess the coconut trees. Bamboo is useful, but I need regular wood and stones and iron nuggets more than anything. So sorry, I get distracted when I play Animal Crossing. I'm trying to come up with a subject to discuss to help make the hour time commitments in these videos fly by a little faster. So there are people that document every day of their lives, and I would document the highlights of my lives because I figured that's what people want to see, right? When you're looking up videos before you go to a country, like, you know, vlogs of Japan, you like seeing vlogs of Japan because it's something that you don't ordinarily get to do. Or when I would go to E3 or PAX or something, those are vlogs for people that might not be able to experience those things, so they get to see what it looks like. And for me, I'm documenting a highlight of my life. Or maybe when I go to a tournament, right? People can compete in a tournament, but I'm documenting my experience, something that people might not be able to experience. When you're vlogging your everyday, maybe some people relate to the fact that it is, well, relatable. That this is what the everyday man is like, and maybe your life is more engaging and entertaining than them. Or maybe you just enjoy this person so much that you just like knowing that you can go home every day and see what they're up to, right? You know that they're gonna be on. And I mean, I kind of get it. You know, there are people like Steven Vlog, who was formerly making a vlog of every single day of his life. And that is the appeal, is that you do it every single day, even if the day is boring. And Steven Vlog still did enough interesting stuff to where it was appealing to me. And, you know, you would see the process for what it was like to move into another house and what it was like to raise a pet and get married and stuff like that. So those things I get, but more often than not, you're gonna encounter days where things are mundane. I know even he had to do things like he had these weekly get-togethers for lunch, and he was also a gamer and an editor and stuff, so he would showcase behind-the-scenes work on those things. I get that. So now, let me go into another perspective of this, okay? Let me go into the perspective of people that do just stream their lives daily, and they stream themselves sleeping and all that stuff that I mentioned earlier. So, I feel like someone's life would just be so boring. And maybe you're streaming your life to help bring some spark into it. I guess. You know what? I didn't mean to pick up that coconut, but maybe I will use that in a second, or any of these giant clams. Well, then I don't want them. All right, I'm going to consume the coconut, get the extra power, and then smash open this rock for one extra stone piece, okay? Here we go. All right, so, I mean, showing every single day of your life in concept is kind of interesting. Oh my god! I'm breaking all of the tools! The tools be broken, I tell ya. Well, maybe that wouldn't have happened if I had a gold shovel, or maybe it would have happened because I've been breaking all of my tools anyway, but I could craft a golden shovel because I got plenty of golden nuggets. I just need, not Captain, I need Gulliver to wash up my island one more time so I can try and get him to mail me a gold shovel recipe. Got it? All right. Let's get a fresh shovel. May as well, I already broke all my other tools. Let's get a fresh batch right here. I'm not making any golden tools right now. just in case I need the gold nuggets for other stuff. I know I've been grateful to be getting more and more gold nuggets as of late, but I still want to hang on to them in case I need like 5 of them to craft something. All right, we're good. Is all my stuff organized? All right, let's bonk a bamboo tree, and then let's get out of here. All right. So, what do I care if someone else is streaming their lives all the time? What do I care if someone else's life is boring? What's it to me to say if someone else's life is boring or not? I don't know. I just don't know how you would come up with enough content to do that all the time, because I struggle to come up with enough engaging gameplay for Animal Crossing all the time. Like, I don't know if I'm going to repurpose this gameplay for future videos or not. I mean, I might. There is the plus side of, well, version 3.0 and the Nintendo Switch 2 edition make the game look slightly nicer. And that would be more evident if I was recording the game in 4K. And I'm not. I'm still recording it at 1080p. And I'm sure that if I lined up this footage with my previous Animal Crossing footage, it probably would look slightly better. But this is obviously not a substantial update. It was $5. I'm not complaining, right? I'm getting content out of it. And if this gameplay is better than the other 400 days worth of gameplay that I recorded previously, then it stands to reason that I would probably use this gameplay when talking about Animal Crossing in any of my other videos. But I struggle to find more engaging things to do, and that's why I strive for trying to go toward these achievements, even if it means doing the same monotonous tasks over and over and over. But I'm used to doing monotonous tasks, you know? I played enough Pokemon and tried to get, like, perfect, shiny, Eevee-trained, bright nature Pokemon, whatever. Like, I've done that. But I didn't do that for 400 days for content. And usually I can talk with friends or put music on or something. But because I'm recording this, I have to be on. You know, I have to be talking. I can't just sit here and be like, oh, cool, I got a snowflake. Oh, all right, I guess I'll shake this tree. Like, no, I want it to be engaging, right? This isn't a live stream. That's part of the reason why I don't enjoy live streaming. I like doing these segmented chunks of gameplay where I have a little bit more control, where I could edit something out or edit something in if I needed to. But I more so enjoy the video editing process than live streaming for that reason. For the reason that I can have a concrete start, middle, and end. And I'm sure I've discussed this in previous Animal Crossing videos, or if not Animal Crossing videos, then just other videos in the past. I guess may as well get rid of my other wasp too. So I don't think my life is that boring. And I am actually very grateful to say that. Now, I'm not suddenly going to turn into one of those people who streams every single day of his life. The only way that works is if I do become a content creator full-time, and simply put, I'm not a content creator full-time. That has its pros and cons. And it would be nice to just go home, play games all day, and that'd be, well, I guess I wouldn't be going home, I wouldn't be leaving, right? Just to be at home and play games all day. Like, that's the dream, right? Is to be able to make what you want, make enough money doing it, and not have to worry in the world, right? Wouldn't that be nice? And I am already in a grateful enough spot in my life where I can be comfortable playing the games that I want. Now, my Animal Crossing videos don't get a whole lot of views these days, and that's totally fine. I'm doing this not because I have to, but because I want to. A lot of people do have to make specific videos because they have to. And I don't think there's any shame in that, but it's not the way I wanted things to go. I just want to make the videos that I want to make, and if people want to watch them, that's a bonus. And I choose to do that at the cost of having fewer views than usual. But we're getting off topic here. I can talk about my YouTube views and my direction of my channel and all that anytime. In fact, I'm already working on a video about that subject, and that'll hopefully come out in a couple days or so. My life, I'm thankful, is interesting enough even on the daily. I don't really do lazy. I don't even really sleep that much. Now, what I'm doing here, like this Animal Crossing content, is not intensive. One could argue that this type of content is lazy by comparison. Like, it's just me playing Animal Crossing for an hour, recording my voice while I play, and what am I doing? I'm running around, chopping down trees and picking up wood, right? And I'm calling that content. Is that lazy? That's one angle to look at it. The other angle is, well, I'm doing this every day for an hour, regardless of what's going on in my life, okay? I work pretty much 40 hours a week. I say pretty much because there are days where sometimes I have to take a day off. Like I didn't work today, right? That didn't happen. But I otherwise work 40 plus hours a week, and I work a lot, okay? I've done opening shift, I've done closing shifts, I've done clopeners, where you do a closing shift into an opening shift. I've done all day shifts, I've been called in early, I've been asked to stay late, I've been called in on my days off. I've done, I had a streak of working 12 days in a row. I don't really do lazy. I picked up a pear, right? That's what I did. Maybe I'll smash this rock open afterward. So let me dude, a gold nugget right from the get-go? Are you kidding? Anyway, thank you, first of all. Second of all, yeah, I try not to do lazy. And I hope people don't ever think I'm being lazy. There is a difference between doing something for convenience and doing something because you're lazy, right? Ordering food for convenience is a lot different than ordering food because you're lazy. just so we're clear. But again, getting sidetracked from the main conversation at hand. I do a lot of work, so the only time that I have has to, like if I'm gonna do a daily video, it has to be something as simple as doing Animal Crossing gameplay where I'm going around bonking trees and bonking rocks. I don't think that that's lazy. I'm doing it this way because that's all I really have time to do if I want to do a daily series, which I think is the point. I wanted to do a daily series. Even if I had the time to do a more intensive, heavily edited Animal Crossing series, I don't know what else I would do. I could do guides like, oh, how to get all the gold recipes, how to get Nook Miles achievements, whatever. And technically that is something I already do with IGN, and I'm grateful that I get to do videos with IGN right now. But otherwise, my life is busy, all right? And I go to work, I work all the time, and then whenever I'm not working at my job, I'm coming home and I'm working on videos. And to an extent, as pathetic as it may sound to say, like this is my free time. It's a side hustle, yes, it's a second job, it's a second life though. I get to go home and live a second life. I am grateful for that. I think it's so cool that I have something to look forward to each day when I come home. I can't I'd be lying if I said I came home and I looked forward to, doing an hour of tree bonking every single day, and I have other videos that I want to do, and I have to prioritize this because this is a daily commitment. But I guess maybe it would help if well, that snowflake already disappeared, huh? Okay, well then otherwise I have demolished the island, and I'm ready to move on to I'll get that snowflake in exchange. How about that? Perhaps it would help if I explained my day today. So let's say I have a traditional shift. All right, I get morning shifts a lot. Well, I get a bit of both. I get morning shifts and I get closing shifts a lot. And let's say I have a regular, 8 to 9 hour shift, which is usually what I get. I work usually 5 days a week. And my hours vary based on the need of the company that I work for. And I hope that everyone will be accepting of the fact that I don't want to say where I work because I don't want to get doxxed. I would like to keep my private life and my video editing life separate. And if people find out where I work, it's not a big deal. But I would rather keep that information a little more private, understandably. So I will get up and I try to optimize the amount of sleep that I can get. Hopefully I can get at least 8 hours, but that doesn't always happen because sometimes I'm up the night before working on videos, whether it's for myself or for a client. If it's for a client, then I really have to prioritize them, and I'll explain kind of how that works in a moment. Right now, I got to put this pear in storage, I got to put this iron nuggets in storage, I got to put the hardwood, the regular wood, the clumps of weeds. I picked up 40 weed clumps. Golly. Oh yeah, the campfire cookware. Sure, we can put that away. Stones. Awesome. Giant clam. So that's crazy that today I got 2 giant clams and I got 2 gold nuggets. That's awesome. Thank you. Put those iron nuggets away as well. That is so awesome. Pop-up toaster, storage, that storage, that storage. Boy, am I glad that I can craft stuff in this game directly from the supplies in my storage. That is so good. I don't have to have friends come to my island anymore, just drop a bunch of stuff in front of a crafting table. Although I might still do that for an upcoming multiplayer day. I don't know yet, we'll see. But yes, if I'm working a morning shift, I will get up first thing in the morning, and I will, well, first I gotta take my retainers out. That's always the first thing, right? Just doing that, just going to the bathroom and taking my retainers out, it kind of forces my mind to start functioning, right? Because when my alarm goes off first thing, sometimes it's hard for me to get out of bed, especially if it's cold out, right? I'll have finally slept well. It's cold. I don't want to get out of my bed, but I have to have the mental capacity to want to do the day. And thankfully, I have a job that I like, and thankfully, my living conditions are quite comfortable. So I don't dread the day. I just want more sleep because I feel like by the time I finally fall asleep, it's time to wake up. And I think a lot of people relate to that. I love sleep. I love being able to sleep. It's a time when I can really just do nothing and think about everything. It's awesome. Sleep feels so good. And I feel like it doesn't matter how many hours of sleep I get, I'm still tired. But I think I attribute that to me working a lot. But as I explain my day, I don't otherwise think I live that unhealthy of a life. And I'll explain that in a moment. For sure. First, let me shake some trees. So I will get up, and if I work a morning shift after I take my retainers out, I will have a quick breakfast, and then I'll get ready for work, and then I'll walk to work. And it's a multiple mile walk to work for me. And I'll still do it regardless of the time of day, and typically regardless of the weather conditions. So if it's raining, I'll still walk. If it's frozen over outside, which it has been as of late, I'll still do it. There are 1 or 2 days where I didn't do it. And like this time last year, it snowed. It full on snowed. Those roads were icy. And I was much too cold to walk multiple miles to work. And I did not trust myself to walk along icy sidewalks the entire way there. We're talking like people were actually having to shovel a couple of things. That was interesting. That's a lifestyle that I'm not entirely used to as a Southern California resident. Not that I've never seen snow, but I've never lived in snow. But even so, I usually will walk to work, and that's kind of a time that helps me wake up. And we're talking, multiple miles. We're talking about a 30 to 45 minutes walk for someone like me. I'm pretty fast. And there were definitely a couple of days where I run to work because I'm falling behind. There are even days where I run to work and I'm not falling behind. Sometimes I just want to beat the traffic light, or sometimes I'm just full of energy. I don't know, but I'll walk to work. And I think that moment of time is good for me. And I get to walk through downtown Seattle. And I love that. I love city aesthetic. I love walking around with skyscrapers and sky bridges and whatever. And it's fun to me when it's like just busy enough, like morning traffic, but not when it's super busy and there's like cars backed up everywhere, right? I like the energy of a city. And I think Seattle can have that, and it's part of the reason why I'm grateful that I moved up here. And I'm glad that Seattle is very walkable. But the other side of it is it's full of hills. All right, Seattle has a lot of hills, a lot of steep hills too. Now, thankfully, my walk to work is fine. I don't really have to go up steep hills on the way to work, but I do have to go up on the way. I do have to go up a couple of hills on my way back from work. And when I first moved to Seattle and I was figuring out what my life was going to look like, and I was doing this job, I would walk to work, multiple miles to work. I would do the work for 8+ hours a day, or sometimes all day shifts or whatever, like I said. And then I used to walk home. All right, I used to walk home, and then there was a day where I got off late, and I was walking up a hill, and it's raining, and it's windy, and it's dark because it's like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and I have an umbrella with me, and the wind is like trying to blow the umbrella out of my hands, so I'm going against the wind, and it blows my umbrella inside out, and I just go, and I grab my umbrella, try to flip it back in the proper shape. Oh, okay, well, cool, this is relevant. The umbrella broke, and me trying to fix the umbrella, I broke it. And at the time, I started crashing out a little bit. I was like, come on, man. That's usually how I start my crash outs. And you guys have probably heard them in a couple of my videos. I always go, come on, man. Are you kidding me? And I wanted to just, I wanted to throw my umbrella on the floor. I was so bummed. And I said, there has to be a better way. So nowadays, I have figured out the bus route. And I am now comfortable taking public transportation throughout Seattle. So I'm comfortable with the bus. I'm comfortable with the light rail. One of these days I want to take a ferry. They got ferries that port from Seattle. I would like to take one day. All right, so what did I break? An axe? I need an axe. So, why am I going into so much detail about my day-to-day? Well, I wanted to say, like, so I walk to work, I do my job, and I like my job, and my colleagues seem to enjoy having me there. And then I take public transportation back. And my walks to work and my ride home are times where I get to unwind. There are times when, you know, I wish I could be working on something. You know, that's 30 minutes or 30 to 40 minutes I could spend sleeping. That's 30 to 40 minutes I could spend working on a video. That's 30 to 40 minutes, you know, I could be doing anything besides walking to work or sitting in public transportation, right? Oh my God, another golden nugget? I really got 3 golden nuggets in one video. I was trying to just like swallow my saliva there, and I got another golden nugget. Look, I'm not complaining. I am very grateful to have gotten that golden nugget. That's awesome. I love that. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. 3 golden nuggets in one video. That's all. You know what's not awesome is this. All right, hang on. There used to be a way where I would be able to catch the wasps when I didn't already have the net in my hands. Isn't it like I have to go above them because by default, once I trade tools, I'm automatically facing south? Prepare to be caught! Oh no! Ah! I didn't shake all the trees on this island, did I? I got carried away by talking about my commute to and from work. Anyway, I think those downtimes could genuinely be interesting to vlog, but I don't think... Well, one, I wouldn't be able to really record my job, and I especially wouldn't be able to do so if I wanted some privacy, right? I don't think my job would be okay if I just started randomly going with a video camera. There are a couple people at work that know I do videos. Heck, there are even multiple instances of me being at work, going home for 2 hours to work on a video, and then going back. Okay, I did that for one of my Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sessions, where I went to work and then I had this commitment to record with friends, and it was the only time my friends were available, or to get like that specific group of friends and that amount of friends together. So I made a deal with work saying I'll do an all-day shift, like for what could be my lunch break, I need to go home and do this. And they granted it. They said, "You promise you'll be back?" I said, "I promise I'll be back." And sure enough, I was. And I've done that 2 or 3 times now. I don't want it to be the norm. It's not a good look to say that you are jeopardizing your livelihood to go make YouTube videos, even though for me, I'm fortunate that this could be a second livelihood. But they were understanding. I'm glad that they trusted me enough to allow me to do that. In any case, but see, I tell stories like that, and I think like, okay, well, my life has to be somewhat interesting. Like, who abandons their job for 2 hours to go play Mario Kart with their friends for a YouTube video? I don't know. Maybe abandoned is a harsh word. I still went back, and my standing at my job, as far as I'm aware, is still pretty strong, and I'm grateful for that too. I'm grateful that I'm able to live both of these lives, and I think my life is pretty interesting. I think a lot of people would want the type of life. Hang on, bell-bottom Zydeco? Stovetop paper? Okay, I don't know. I don't even know what you're saying anymore, dude. How far into the video are we? We're over 40 minutes? Okay. I think maybe we're done with the Nook Miles Island tours. I think I need to go to the shop and buy medicine because I got attacked by those wasps. And then I need to start crafting stuff for the latter portion of this video. I might only be able to craft 10 items for the day, but I still got to craft regardless. So I ended off on 151, right? The Pokemon number. Great. So now I'm going to try and get to 161. But first, the medicine. Hopefully Timmy and Tommy won't mind some older gentleman coming into their shop with an axe. All right, there we go then. Timmy, Tommy, oh yeah, don't mind my face being swollen. I just got attacked by wasps. You know how it goes. No, this is friendly game. We all get along with each other. All right, cool. The medicine, it heals everything. It heals the colds and the coughs and the face swelling. Great. Thank you. Much better. All right, let's get crafting. I need to see what I can craft, and then I need to see if I have the supplies to do so. Hopefully I do. I just spent 40 minutes talking about my life. So my life otherwise does kind of revolve around my video schedule. My video schedule otherwise does revolve around my life. I make videos when I have the time to. And I bonked these coconut trees already, right? Hang on. Are any of these giant clams? No, they are not. course they're not. Yeah, and I bonked these trees. Oh, but I never bonked the coconut trees in the top right corner of my island, did I? I remember I mentioned that, so let me go do that real quickly. So, I'm grateful that I can do that I can do these things. I'm very, yay, giant clam, huzzah! I'm grateful that I get to do these things, and while I am lacking time and I'm occupying it with these repetitive, mundane Animal Crossing videos where I go around bonking trees and iron and stones to get iron nuggets. I mean, that's the game. And I understand that people would get bored of that, let alone for 400 videos of that, right? Like, I totally get it. So I don't know how other people can do that type of thing for other games, well, or just in their lives, like how they document the entirety of their life. I couldn't do that. And there are definitely moments in my life where I wish I could be documenting it. You know, there's not going to be footage of me just sitting on a bus unless I choose to record myself on a bus, or unless I have a stalker. I'm not saying I need footage of myself sitting on a bus. I'm saying that I think my life is interesting in the way that would be ordinary to me is interesting to other people. So like the fact that I walk to work and take the bus home, the fact that I enjoy my job, and then after my job I come home and do YouTube videos, I think that's interesting to people. And there's also a second side of this too that I don't really know if I'll have much of a chance to go into. And you know, at this moment, I think I'll shake each of these trees and check them for wasp nests. And then after I've shaken all the trees, then I'll go and bonk them. So I have a fair deal of people that know me, and maybe they met me before they realized I was a YouTuber. And then I tell them I'm a YouTuber, and they go, "Oh, that's so cool." And I am great. What I'm about to say, I am grateful for the work that I get to do. I'm grateful that I get to do this, right? I don't get to do it full time. That's not an issue. I'm just saying, like, there are a lot of YouTubers, and that's cool, right? I will not take it for granted that, like, being able to do YouTube videos full time, being able to make what you want, make what you love for a living is awesome, right? It is such a privilege. All right, no, don't worry, Tybalt. These wasps will not get you. All right, this is such a privilege that I'm choosing to do this, right? I'm not ungrateful in the slightest. I know that I am capable of doing more than just these daily Animal Crossing videos. And again, these Animal Crossing videos will end in about 10 days' time, and I have some cool stuff in the background, stuff that I'm trying to make on top of these daily Animal Crossing videos, okay? The other projects I'm working on are kind of on hold. Yeah, there are a lot of people that want to be YouTubers, and so they all try to find these things that they can do to try and stand out. And so people that don't do YouTube videos or might be new to YouTube videos, they think that what I do is so fascinating. But then I work with all these YouTubers, all these people that do YouTube videos full time, and then by comparison, my life is not as fascinating, right? Because, oh, well, now we all do the same stuff. Maybe my friends are the ones that get flown to other states or other countries and get to do all these opportunities. And I've had stuff like that too, right? Again, just being transparent here. I've done a lot of cool stuff. It's just when I talk to some of my friends, they do a lot of cool stuff too, to the point where the stuff that I'm doing now sounds boring again, right? That's why I was saying, well, my life may seem ordinary, but it's so fascinating to other people. Therefore, when I think of these people that document their everyday lives, I think that would be boring. I think that me doing these Animal Crossing videos every single day, naturally, would be boring. I totally get it. Again, I'm just rambling. I don't really know if there is a total point to be made anymore. But I'm fortunate, and I am content with the life that I have. I'm striving for greater things. You know, I would love one day to work at Nintendo and to make games and to inspire people in the same way that they and their games have inspired me, right? I don't think I'm gonna get there just by playing Animal Crossing for an hour every single day, and that's why I'm doing other things, and vice versa. I edit for other people. I don't think I'm gonna get the snowflake. Okay, well, fine. That snowflake was not meant to be gotten. Never mind then. Let me drop off all the other supplies that I've gotten so far. Vice versa, the job that I have, I like that job, but it pays the bills. But I need my creative outlet too, right? So I gotta do this. Now, when I go home, the time I have away from my job is the only time I have to work on videos. I might only have you know, between me going to, so let's say I work for 8 hours, and then by the time I commute to and from work, that's another hour. Let's say that the job stuff occupies half my day. If I want to get 8 hours of sleep, all right, and I occupy 12 hours a day with my job, well, then that now means that I only have 4 hours to work on anything. And now an hour of that is going to simply recording Animal Crossing, give or take a few minutes after that, and then I have to export the video, make a thumbnail, upload it, whatever. Not that it takes that long, but it means that the spare time that I have to do anything else is gone. It's got, like, if I want to work on another video, well, now I've got maybe 2 hours to work on it. And then I also have to shower. I have to eat. Hang on, I need white lilies. I can make this real quick, though. I have to shower, I have to eat. For better or for worse, I'm not dating anybody right now. For better or for worse, I don't have a pet right now. For better or for worse, I live on my own. I'm not complaining. I like this lifestyle. But Animal Crossing occupying the remaining time that I have makes things a bit tricky. And on top of it being something that I do daily, I'm in this like cycle. Hang on, I have to make an iron, was it like a iron dresser or something? Let me see. Alphabetical. No, ironwood chair, ironwood cart, ironwood bed, ironwood cupboard, ironwood workbench, ironwood dresser, thank you. Okay, so I'm in this struggle where the limited amount of time that I have to do these Animal Crossing videos, and I have to be on, and I have to find a way to turn these boring, everyday activities within Animal Crossing into something that's entertaining, and I have to do that every single day on top of trying to do all this other stuff in the background. I have these cool projects that are coming in, and I really hope people like them. And it's just a struggle. And I don't know how people do it. I come home from work, I'm tired, And frankly, people that do YouTube full time, well, they do it full time, so they don't do a retail job like I have. So there's that end to it. I see Flick is up here. Sorry, Flick, I put all my wasps away. I'm looking for lilies. That's not a lily, that's a tulip. My bad. Don't worry, I know my flowers. Planted all of them. All right, lilies. Right, that's a lily? Yes, that's a lily. Yeah, like I said, I know my flowers. Anyway, I don't know how people do it. And forgive me if I'm not always on. Forgive me if I'm tired. Now, frankly, I feel as though for this past video, I think I've done okay providing commentary over these monotonous tasks. And I do commentate better when the task is repetitive and monotonous. So I in more recent times, it's become difficult for me to commentate, I guess. I'm not that I'm having trouble speaking, although there are definitely some videos where I recorded this first thing in the morning, and I was definitely tired. And you can probably hear me sound tired in my voice right now, but I don't have enough white lilies. Okay. I don't always have the brain power to do it, and it's hard to get up first thing in the morning, record Animal Crossing for an hour, and then do a full day's worth of work, and then have to be on at work too. And I want to make it clear, like, nothing here is faked. You're hearing the real me. I'm not like faking a voice or a personality. I'm just trying to be a little more energetic. That's what I mean when I say I'm on. I'm trying not to be boring, because I don't want these already repetitive videos to be even more boring than they could be. I'm trying to at least have some engaging commentary, trying to have a conversation here, Okay, I got one more lily here, but I don't have enough to make the crown. Also, wait, I ordered all those cardboard boxes, and then the thing that required the cardboard boxes isn't even there anymore. Whatever. I guess I should be grateful that it rotated out. All right, I did prove that it rotates out, because all the stuff that requires gold items aren't there anymore either. Now that I have the supplies, it doesn't want me to make them anymore. Well, then I'll be ready for the future. All right? All right. Anyway, let's go ahead and craft a couple more things, and then presumably, Catman will tell me, hey, you've been crafting a lot of stuff, whoop-de-doo, and then I can go and throw together a hotel room real quickly, and then we can be done with the video. But yeah, how do people do it, man? How do people record themselves every single day and then do other stuff? I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying not to be lazy. I'm tired. I'm working through the exhaustion. I'm working through it. I get up, I walk to work. So that's my exercise, I guess. Hang on, I need another other dresser, perfect. That's my exercise. I walk to work, I do the work, I'm pretty good at it. I come home, I work on videos, and then, okay, so I said I would get into this. So what if I edit for a client? Well, then the clientele video takes priority Not just because they're paying me, although the money is incentivizing, it helps create supplemental income for me to be able to live comfortably, but also because I'm working for someone else. I don't want them to be waiting on me. And even right now, I'm grateful I have clientele work I can be doing, but I have 1 or 2 clients that are waiting on me, and I try to not make them wait. I don't want to have to make them wait. So say I have extra time after I finish working on Animal Crossing. Well, now that extra time has to go to working on a client video. I don't get to work on my stuff. I do the client's video first. So I don't have enough wood for that. I do have enough peaches for that, thankfully. Okay. So it's a lot. It's a lot. And hopefully you guys understand that I'm doing a lot. So every day, get up, walk to work, do the job, take public transportation back, work on the Animal Crossing, which requires not just recording the game for an hour and being on for an hour, but also like editing the video if I need to and uploading it and all that stuff too, backing up the footage afterward. And then with whatever time's remaining, edit a video for a client. Oh, and I also practice Japanese every day as well. Mainichi. Every day. I don't do lazy. And I'm tired. And, you know, obviously now that I say all that, it should stand to reason that I'm tired. But even without the daily Animal Crossing stuff, I was still tired. It was hard coming back to work on Tears of the Kingdom after everything, because I knew that the next video for Tears of the Kingdom that I would do would be like 3 or 4 hours long. So I'd have to find a time where I'd be able to do that. So if I had a day off, that became my day off. I would not be able to do this and Tears of the Kingdom. If I did, I wouldn't be able to work on anything else, right? I would have to stop doing clientele work. But I need to do the clientele work because not only is it extra money, but it helps build my portfolio, which is really what I want. And I've got some cool clients too, right? I know beggars can't be choosers, but I got some very good choices here. I got Nook Miles for cooking stuff. Cook up a storm, you got it. All right, I don't think we're gonna get any of the Nook Miles achievements for the day unless one of them is redesign a hotel room, which is something that I'll do momentarily. Let's go ahead and drop off the wall. And let's drop off that bagel. That bagel is new, right? I'd probably actually eat that. It's got a bunch of fruit and just a bunch of bread. Okay, and then we got the shell partition, more shells. Oh man, all right. Well, we'll keep going until either Captain says something or until I just am completely walled out by supplies. Or lack of supplies, I guess. All right, so let's see. Just Venus comes and conches, and you require 2 of them, but that's fine. You don't require giant clams, and you have no idea how relieved I am that that's the case. Whew. Anyway, as I strive for this achievement, it does give me an objective to strive toward. I understand that the majority of these achievements were made with the intention that maybe you would play the game a little bit every day, not with the intention of playing it for an hour every day for the sake of content, but the developers expect you to play this game during small chunks at a time, maybe even big chunks at a time, and that maybe one day you would earn these achievements and be like, whoa, hey, remember when I did that? Meanwhile, you get some achievement hunters like me who are actively going out of their way to get these achievements and are therefore more susceptible to devoting entire days just to getting these achievements. Oh, Captain's talking to me. Looks like he brought tons of stuff. Here's a little gift from yours truly. Yoshiller, like me, you 100 tickets you can use at the hotel. Okay, now I'm at 160 or 161. Did I craft 9 items or 10 items? If it's 9 items, I'd like to try and craft 1 more item. So I'm trying to do 10 per day. I ended on 151 yesterday, the Pokemon number. 161, what Pokemon is that? Spinarak? Actually, I can probably figure that out. Give me 1 moment. For now, 161, awesome. Okay, well yeah, the first 9 Pokemon of a new generation are always the starters. So then what would be 2 after that? Oh no, it would be 152 to 160. So it's probably Sentret, right? 152 is Chikorita, 153 is Bayleaf, Meganium, 154, 155 to 157 is the Cyndaquil line, 158, 159, 160 would be the Totodile. So 161 would be Sentret. I'm fairly certain 161 is Sentret. Anyway, I did the Pokemon math while mashing through your text. I'll choose a theme. I've done a Sentret amount of crafting stuff for you, Captain. All right, we'll go ahead and do the diner. Oh, I should have just done the lodge room and just stuck 1 singular bed in there. All right, the diner room. It'll be much of the same that I had in mind for the diner, for the lodge room. It's basically just gonna be a table and a bed. All right, that is some fun wallpaper. That's awesome. As you guys are probably aware, at this point, I'm just cheesing the rooms for the sake of a Nook Miles achievement. I already spent entire videos of myself decorating hotel rooms, and even more with the Happy Home Paradise Academy back in the version 2.0 iteration of this game. So I feel as though I have earned the right to just throw a bunch of stuff in here and call it a hotel room, okay? Look, if it has a bed and a ceiling, it's a hotel room. My apartment is a hotel room when you really break it down. All right, we're all done. And hey, if it helps me move closer toward getting your Nook Miles achievement, then great. It's looking grim that I'll be able to get the invite guests to the VIP room achievement before this series comes to an end. Obviously, if I see 1 or 2 more residents or tourists on the island, I'll invite them to the VIP room and you know, try to get that Nook Miles achievement. But I thought maybe that was something I'd be able to do once a day, and I'm beginning to think that that's not gonna happen. Anyway, folks, I rambled. I said I would ramble. I'm tired. I said I was gonna be tired. I didn't even work today and I'm tired. Well, I didn't go to work today, but I have work later this week, and you guys know how the process goes. And if I have a closing shift, then maybe I'll record Animal Crossing before I go to work. And if I have an opening shift, then maybe I'll record Animal Crossing after I go to work. Or maybe it'll be early enough to where I still record before I go to work. I don't know for certain just yet, but what I do know is that this part is soon coming to a close. So, that wraps up this video of my Animal Crossing New Horizons daily gameplay, and I'm gonna go ahead and catch the snowflake. Boom, baby! Thank you. Folks, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all in future videos, and hopefully you'll tune in for some more repetitive, boring gameplay with some mind dumps of my own. But for now, bye-bye, humans! Whoosh! And so, we've reached the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, please click on the like button or leave a comment. Either of those actions would really help me out. And hey, in case you didn't know, I have another channel called my Blue channel where I frequently post editorial and discussion type videos. You can head over there by clicking on the video icon in the lower right corner. So if you wish to watch something a little more relaxing or just need some more background noise, please consider checking it out. Either way, thank you so much for watching.